All right, y'all. It's me, Wise, back on another video. It's been a week. You haven't seen an upload, but I got good reason. Last week was Valentine's Day. I got busy at work with training, so I'm adjusting to my new schedule, but I wanted to release something a little bit different. What I have here today is Wanted Dead. It is my review of the game. I played it. It came out on Valentine's Day. I played it on Saturday. I beat it on Sunday. Now you're going to sit there and say, what do you mean by that? You'll find out later in the review. But just before we get started with the review, I'm going to go ahead and explain. Like I said, it is an action hack and slash with shooting mechanics in the game. And this is directly from IGN in October 2021. Publisher 110 Industries and Solili, a game development studio comprised of Team Ninja veterans who worked on both the Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive franchise, have announced Wanted Dead, a new third-person fast action game for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC set in a low-tech sci-fi version of Hong Kong that will allow you to master combat with both guns and melee weapons. This team cites Bayonetta and Devil May Cry's inspirations. Wanted Dead also includes an in-depth investigative side where players must analyze evidence and dive into real police work. This game is currently $60 on all platforms. It's on Xbox Game Pass for free day one. And I'm here to tell you how I feel about it. If you don't want to watch my entire video, I'm going to be honest with you. This game is frustrating in all the wrong ways. It has a lot of good things that it could have, went more in depth with, but it didn't. And that I read that for a reason, that part where it says an in-depth investigative side. There is zero investigation. There is zero side things. And this game is relatively short. This game, I beat it in 7 hours. If you really account the fact that the second half of the game is just running away, and the fact that part of the game is so frustratingly hard, this game could probably be beat in about 5. And that's me being honest. It's me mastering the mechanics, maxing out my skill tree, learning how to beat enemies better. It could be beat in probably 5 hours. This game, from what I heard from Kotaku's not the best source of information. This game is a 12-hour game. I beat it in 7 on my first playthrough. On the hardest difficulty that allows, which is hard. There is another difficulty after, but I'm not going to subject myself to such pain and suffering. So I beat it on hard. But we're going to get straight into it. So the first part of this review is going to be about the story. To make a long story short, you play as Catherine Stone. She is a war criminal, pretty much given life, and she's given a second chance through a government program. That's pretty much it. That's how the game starts. It doesn't do a lot of explanation as to what she did. It doesn't say why she's got life prison. All you can hear is that, oh, well, I'm in prison and we're going to give you a second chance. From that, you get a little short intro where she walks into a crime scene and she's talking to like this kid and stuff like that. But that's the main character, Catherine Stone. We also have Doc, Cortez, Hesburgh, the captain, the gunsmith Vivian, August, Accomplice, Mr. X, and Richter. These are all characters that you're going to meet in the game. The main 4 that you'll be dealing with is Catherine, Doc, Cortez, Hesburgh. They're all under the same program. They've all pretty much been going to jail for life and are given a second chance to this program. Now, the story, overall, it's not really very good. It starts off kind of all over the place. It just ends. It doesn't really have like a coherent story. You're going to play through it. You're not going to understand anything. And this is after me. I watched the cutscenes. And you can rewatch the cutscenes. They make no sense. The first 3 missions in the game, they don't really have any big connection to them. And once you get to, like I said, once you get to mission 4 and 5, it's pretty much just run away. So I'll explain to you. Mission 1 is you get a call. There's a theft going on at some big corporation in Hong Kong. You go there. They're doing stuff. You go in there. run through the game. It's pretty much like a way to learn how to play the game and like all the enemies and stuff like that. Majority of the enemies in that first mission are what you're going to see through the game. There's maybe like 2 or 3 that are introduced after that, but most of them are in that first mission. After mission 2, aftermath of the first mission, you have to go deal with a riot. Fine, that's done. Mission 3, you attack like a gang hideout, which is a casino. And then, like I said, 4 and 5 are pretty much you get attacked at the police station, and then mission 5 is just running away. They're not, the first 2 missions are connected, and then 3, 4, and 5 are slightly less connected. And I'd argue the weakest part of the story is definitely the second half of the game and also the ending, because the ending doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's also some flashbacks that the character has. There's only like 2 or 3 of them. Like, why is Stone having these flashbacks? Why is she a blonde in the flashback but a redhead in the gameplay? Most of the story info is not even found through the game itself. It's through collectibles in the station and game world, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you want to explain a story to me, the game should tell me. Not I should have to. The only way I even found out about Catherine's story is through collectibles in the station. That game doesn't tell you that Catherine is this. Well, you can't argue if she's horrible or not, but they don't tell you what she did. They don't tell you why she's doing the things she's doing. It just says she wants a second chance, doesn't want to be in prison. Fine. I think that the boss fights, they're not very impactful. Maybe the last one is impactful, but outside of that, they're not great. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're cool. You fought a tank. You fought the tank like 3 or 4. So the first boss you fight in this game is a spider tank. You fight that boss, I want to say 3 or 4 times in this game. The first time you fight him, the second time you fight him again, I believe it's like 2 of them at the same time, and that fight's not even that hard at that point of the game. But to get to the story is very weak. It's not really put together. It's kind of just sounds like it's an afterthought. And for a game that's supposed to be 12 hours and very long, granted, Devil May Cry and Bayonetta stories, they're not the strongest stories, but they make sense. If someone asked me can you explain Devil May Cry 3 or Devil May Cry 4 or Devil May Cry 5 story? I could tell you. You asked me to explain Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, I could explain it to you because the story, even if it's an afterthought, it still makes sense. But that's besides the point. We're going to go into gameplay. So the gameplay in this game, it's a hack and slash with shooting elements. So how do I explain that? Simple hack and slash. There's a skill tree. The more kills you get, when you finish missions, you get SP. SP is used to upgrade your skill tree, making you better, making you more deadly, stuff like that. So I broke it down between swordplay and gunplay. Swordplay, it's okay at best. It's very hard to get into, and at times it's hard to flow. Like, there's times where I can flow, but then the flow is just interrupted. So that becomes frustrating. There is a second sword in the game. It's not really a sword, it's a chainsaw. But to be honest, it's not viable in combat. You can only use it a handful of times. And even though, like I said, it's a one-hit kill if you get it, but the way the enemies are moving in this game, they're so fast and quick, you're gonna die before you can even use that chainsaw 90% of the time. Enemies take a lot of hits. They take a lot of hits even on normal with the damage upgrade. I will say the finishers, they look great. They're satisfying to pull off, and they're virtually necessary in the later half of the game. My tip, if you do decide to pick up the game, is to upgrade your parry and finisher as soon as possible. So what is that? There's a skill that allows the parry window to be longer, which makes it the game a little bit easier, more tolerable. And also there's a thing where, like, if you get a finisher, i.e. you rip someone's arm off, their leg is severed, you get an automatic finisher, which pretty much means you're allowed to do the finisher early. We're going to go into the gunplay. The guns, they lack any heavy impact, and ammo is scarce, which I don't understand why that is, because in a game where they make you do like whole sections with guns, why is ammo scarce? That doesn't make any sense. And these are people who are combat specialists, these are people who have been fighting in wars. Why is ammo scarce in this game? And then you make us do 4, 5, 6 instances of gunfights. Makes no sense. The cover system is not a button. You just hover over it near the cover. It sucks. It's wonky. Sometimes the cover isn't even good, so you end up getting shot through the cover. And then on top of that, the pistol has unlimited ammo, but it's not really for gunplay. It's really for like melee combat. So it's really just to extend your combo. Honestly, it's not the most useful. And you do have like a blacksmith thing where you can like kind of estimate, or gunsmith thing where you can like, customize your guns to change their stats. It's very basic. There's no like special parts that you get for like challenges or anything like that. You play the game. Each time you get to a checkpoint, you're there. And honestly, I can't tell the difference in stats. I really can't. I just can't tell the difference. So ultimately, I just set it to whatever I feel comfortable doing, and then I move from there. The moment to moment action, the combat encounters, they get very boring after a while. They become a chore. Like I said, I'm going to keep mentioning the second half of the game because I feel like that's the weakest part of the game, is that you're just on and on and on fighting. There's no explanation. There's not much to explain. You just go, you fight some people, go in a room, fight. Done. The bosses are cool, but they come repetitive. I'm looking at you, Spider Tank, 3 times. The second half of the game, which I've already mentioned, it's a very long drag. It's just you're fighting in the police station. You leave the police station, you're fighting on the streets. The checkpoint system is very awful. It leads to a lot of frustration. So what does that mean? The checkpoint system is created by this drone. So in the missions, a drone will drop in, and pretty much it gives you like the ability to like refill health, change your, do your customization on your guns, things of that nature. You can't customize any of the, guns that you pick up. So there's only a few guns that you pick up, which is a SMG, a shotgun, LMG, a grenade launcher. That's about it. You can't customize them, which doesn't make any sense if you can pick them up and you can go to this drone and do your customizations, but that's besides the point. You can only be revived once a checkpoint, and because these checkpoints are so far and in between each other, at times you will be stuck. I was stuck on the police area for 2 hours, and this is no exaggeration. There is a part in that game, in that section, that is so painfully difficult, it's not even funny. And it's like that the whole police station. At least when you get outside, it's a little bit easier. It's more tolerable. But that's why I'm saying this game could probably be beat in 5 hours. It just took me 2 to get to the police station. Each mission probably isn't more than 32 an hour, if I'm being honest. But that's besides the point. Enemies are bullet spongy, and because they're bullet spongy, the guns feel even less impactful, which then makes using guns almost like you don't want to use them, but you have to because you can't just run up and slice everyone through. So you end up, doing what you got to do. It's not horrible, but it's going to fly, especially if you get good. You're going to fly through these missions, except the last 2, because those missions are just made to be difficult and long, so you're not going to fly through those. But as far as replayability goes, there's not much to do once you beat the game. New Game Plus is tied to your difficulty, which I don't understand why they did that. But to make a long story short, so if I beat the game on hard, so I can do New Game Plus. I can only do it on hard. I don't know why that is. Most games don't do that, but whatever. Besides the point. And the mini games, they're not fun, and they're forced. The first 2 mini games, which is the ramen noodle eating one and the karaoke, they're not fun. Like, they're cool, but like, I don't think they should have forced it on you. It should have been like, oh, do you want to do it for extra SP? Go ahead, but if not, move on. They don't provide much information in regards to the story or anything like that. But the graphics, we'll move on to the graphics here. The graphics do look good. I mean, the game looks a little bit older, but the graphics do look good. And they look good for about the 4 to 7 hours that you'll be playing. The atmosphere is cool. It's a cyberpunk game, sci-fi, but the game's set in 2022. I don't know why they did that. I don't understand what made them think that makes any sense. But hey, story's a story. Who cares? The sound design is awful. It's garbage. The guns, Damn near all sound the same, except for like, obviously shotguns sound different than SMGs and grenade launchers, stuff like that, but it's awful. It just sounds bad. Every time a grenade goes off, no matter how far you are from the grenade, you're hearing fades, which is like realistic, but why would it do that no matter what? But that's besides the point. The voice acting, it's awful. It's really bad. First of all, the characters in moment-to-moment gameplay, they repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again. If I hear Hernsberg say, I expect nothing less from this team, I promise you it's going to frustrate you. And they do it the whole game. And then Catherine's voice actor, sometimes it just sounds like she doesn't give a fuck. Like she'll be talking and it sounds so lazy. It sounds like she just said her line and they were like, you know what, we just got to keep it in the game. No one's going to notice. Cutscenes are a bit better, but it's still just all over the place with the voice acting. Voice acting is definitely a low point in this game. Overall, to me, this game is not what I expected it to be. When you hear, it's the inspirations and the team behind it, nor does it have an investigative side like they mentioned when they first announced the game. This game is like, I don't understand, first of all, why anyone would have believed this game was going to be 12 hours with 5 missions. You can beat the first 3 missions probably in like 30, 40 minutes. And then the last 2 are just hard. But you probably can beat those in an hour once you figure out your flow and stuff. So for me, I don't do 0 out of 10s or 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5. All I'm going to tell you is that you can either buy this game no matter what. It's my rating. This is my ratings. But buy this game no matter what, or play it on Game Pass, buy it on sale, buy it on a deep sale, or don't waste your time with this game at all. Me personally, I would either play this game with Game Pass if you can, or buy it when it's on sale. Because there's no reason in any stretch of the imagination that you should be paying $30 for this game. That you should be paying $60 for this game. This game is a 20 and under game. I beat this game. I picked it up not knowing much about it. I literally was bored. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play this game. I just heard about it. It came out. It took me 7 hours. This game is $60 and it took me 7 hours. It took me two or three play sessions to beat this game. Listen to what I'm about to say. If we excuse the part that I was stuck on hard on the last 2 missions, I probably could have beat this game in 5. Imagine paying $60 for a 5-hour game with mediocre gunplay, with subpar sword combat, and if you want to know, the skill tree system, it's easy. I maxed it out. You're going to max it out. If you play the game, you're going to max it out. But that's my review. Wanted Dead. Get it on a deep sale, maybe $15, $20. If you want to buy it for $30, you do that, but this game's not what I thought it was. I was disappointed. The ending stinks. The voice acting stinks. I mean, the graphics are okay. The gunplay is very less impactful, and it just feels clunky. Overall, I hope you enjoyed my review. If you want to like, subscribe, comment, tell me if you played the game. What do you think? If you think I'm tripping, let me know and give your points, and I'll do my best to reply to all of them if I see them. But if not, it's your boy. It's Wise. I'm back with a video. Excuse my voice, but I'm ready. You're going to have a few more videos this week, but I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all have a great day. Peace.